Tonight, the first in an occasional series of stories looking at the many ways local agencies are spending that government stimulus money. KARE 11's political reporter John Croman looks at projects making an impact in tonight's Follow the Money report.
The carpenter drilling holes for insulation and the dentist drilling out cavities are linked by stimulus money.
You can't grab me.
Same for the teen with the backpack and the guy in the hard hat. All connected by the $787 billion recovery package signed by President Obama in February.
The beginning of what we need to do to create jobs for Americans scrambling in the wake of layoffs.
The president's goal, create or save 3.5 million jobs over the next 2 years. The biggest chunk of the money, about a third of it, can't really be tracked because it's going directly to people's pockets as payroll tax cuts and credits. The Lowry Bridge may be the single most spectacular example of the Recovery Act at work in Minnesota, but that's only $10 million of the $4.6 billion in stimulus money headed to the state. The widest money trail leads here. State government would have run out of cash last spring if not for a $2.6 billion boost from Uncle Sam.
We received what's called counter-cyclical money, which is a fancy term for the federal government giving states money to help them with their budget problems.
As Budget Commissioner, Tom HANSON had to become an expert on the stimulus overnight.
When was the last time you saw a $787 billion bill pass at the federal level in about 3 weeks?
The lion's share of that bailout went to health care, $1.8 billion to prop up medical assistance programs. Schools will get roughly $800 million that normally would have been paid by Minnesota taxpayers.
Had we not received that, we would have had a deficit.
The second big batch of dollars headed to Minnesota, $2 billion, will go to construction and services, including $500 million for transportation.
1, 2, 3.
High-profile projects like the long-awaited Highway 610 extension in Brooklyn Park and Maple Grove will get headlines and $27 million stimulus bucks. But most are like this routine shoulder work on Highway 51 in Arden Hills, designed and ready to go when the money arrived.
And that's why we have been successful with our highway money in getting it out fairly quickly.
Energy's a priority. In Minnesota, $132 million will go to weatherizing schools, hospitals, government buildings, and homes. In this case, an 1887 house in the city of North St. Paul.
This is permanent. You know, it's not an ongoing Band-Aid fix. What we do really does help the environment.
This insulation crew is part of Community Action, a nonprofit agency that weatherizes lower-income households in Ramsey and Washington counties, but never before to this extent. Most years they'll do 340 homes. This year?
This year we're mandated to do 1,700 units, which is about 4 years worth of production for us. Our staff is normally 17 people within energy conservation. We're up to 35 right now. So we've doubled.
You'll also find Recovery Act banners at some neighborhood clinics on the premise that an ounce of prevention's worth an economic shot in the arm.
So this side of your lip and this side feel different?
Dental care is part of an array of services offered by North Point Health and Wellness Center in North Minneapolis, where demand for services has spiked.
So many families are stressed, not only with the unemployment figures, but the losing of the housing. People need support, and this is where they come to receive those services.
North Point's $1.3 million in stimulus grants will enable the clinic to add 12 new staff and upgrade equipment. This analog mammogram unit will be replaced with one that takes digital images.
We should be able to realistically double the amount of patients that we can currently do in an 8-hour day.
Cities are putting stimulus money to work in a variety of ways. St. Paul, for instance, is using $1.5 million to clean up the site of a demolished bowling alley built on an old landfill. Or here, $15 million stimulus dollars will finance a new combined fire station and headquarters on West 7th. And the city will gain 28 new police officers with $6 million in public safety stimulus grants.
What having 610 plus officers on the streets of St. Paul allows us to do are real proactive community-based policing strategies that when you're just running from call to call all the time, you just don't get a chance to get out in the community and get to know the people that you're working with.
St. Paul used $100,000 for the Youth Job Corps program, putting teens to work at summer youth camps like this one at Dayton's Bluff Rec Center.
Oh, it's fun. It's like an exercise every day. So that keeps me coming. The kids are fun and funny most of the time, so that's why I come.
Darius and Demetrius were teaching assistants. Other teens helped serve free meals to the children at the camp, while others made sure the kids arrived safely.
If I didn't get this job, I'd probably be at the lake fishing and also looking at new jobs. But the economy this year is not too bright or too good right now, so it's harder to get a job.
Now, just how many jobs are saved or created is something the government expects to track. Every contractor and government agency is required to certify how many jobs result directly from each project. For instance, MnDOT certified more than 2,000 new construction jobs as of July. Now, in the meantime, if you'd like to track stimulus spending in your community, virtually every agency has its own recovery page listing projects and grants, detailed information. Some have interactive maps you can click on, and we'll link you to a bunch of those on KARE11.com. Now, the job of counting, or the job counting part of it, is going to create some headaches because most of these agencies have never been asked to do that before. Track dollars, yes, but hiring, no.
As you were saying, the police department hiring, for example, in 3 years, then they have to come up with their own money to keep those officers?
Yeah, locally.
Yeah, it depends on whether these jobs have staying power.
Right,
You know,
the point was to get people working as soon as possible, get some money out there, and a lot of it's going to be spin-off effect, you know, the reverberating in the economy as people make money, spend it, and it goes to other jobs too.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
We'll see.
A lot of rabbit's feet out there being rubbed. Thank you, Johnny.
Thank you, John.